So where'd you live in France? Where's your home?
That's actually a good one. What's the other name for a German Shepherd?
Alsatian.
That's where I come from. Yeah.
Alsace-Lorraine?
Yeah. Strasbourg.
Yeah. Strasbourg, yeah. Okay. And how did you know I'd know what the other name for a German Shepherd was? We're in America.
Because I know you know dogs.
All that is on the podcast. So now we're introducing the new podcast.
All right. So we have Geoffrey. What's your last name, Jeff? Hunter?
Jambert.
Jambert. All the way from Alsace-Lorraine. I didn't say that right, is it?
Yeah, from Alsace, Strasbourg.
Strasbourg, huh? We got that right too. And he came over just to do some K9Pro Sports trials. Actually, he has a job here as well, but we forget about that part. So, what do you think about the pro sports and the training that we're doing?
Well, first of all, hello Butch, hello Stan. Thank you very much for having me. I've been a big fan of yours, I would say, for about 2 years.
That's all right.
Catching you on the videos, and
Thank you.
I wanted to learn more about K9Pro Sports, and that's why I came here yesterday from Houston. I've been very interested in K9Pro Sports because I understood that it says sports in the title, but I understand that it's much more related to real life.
Right.
And that's the part that really interested me in K9Pro Sports. Would you like to tell me a bit more about it and why you wanted to develop a sport that is different from the usual IPO, Mondioring, and so on?
Right. Yeah, and that's actually we did a podcast last week.
Talk to that one.
Actually, we did a podcast last week about the history of pro sports and how it started. It started in Mexico.
Okay.
And it started because at that time in the early 90s, there were a lot of people that wanted something more realistic. They wanted to test their dog on the streets. So that's how we got started. And everything is set up, even the order that we do the exercises in is set up to have a psychological effect.
Yes.
Okay, so if you go in Mondio ring, you go out and you do your whole routine, and you're done, and you're out there on the field for many minutes, and every dog knows the order that they're going in, and like they say about the good, say the French ring dogs, a good ring 3 dog can go out without a handler and go through the whole routine.
Yes.
Malinois, right? So that was one thing. Of course, not going to happen on the streets. So we have random changes of our obedience pattern. We have ways to change all of our attack scenarios. And also, what we're trying to do is induce a little bit of the psychology so that the handler has to make a decision. So, my yappy dog over there. So for instance, in the security division, you'll come out there, you'll do your civil agitation, you'll do your attack on handler, but then you go back.
Yep.
Because the dog's already pumped up from that first bite. We don't want you to send your dog down the field when it's already pumped and jacked up. Your bite may look good, but you may suffer control. But we also want you to sweat it a little bit.
Yep.
We want you to get off the field, go back and go, oh, so-and-so's doing better than me. I'm going to, So it puts a little bit of mental stress on things. And these are all the subtleties that we work on with pro sports. For instance, your dog. How long have you been working with Aria?
So my dog is Aria. She's a KNPV Malinois, and she's 3 years old. So I've been working with her since I got her when she was 2 months old. I've started with obedience, doing a lot of obedience and some personal protection. One of the questions I wanted to ask you is, and based on the experience that you have with the K9Pro Sports, what are the main skills that the best dogs are demonstrating during the competition?
Thank you. That is a really, really good question. You got one of the score sheets right there, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's see the patrol dog. It's in color. It's a little more easier to see. So hold that up for the camera. If you can look at our point totals and our number of things that are supposed to be done, you have 3 things here, you have 3 things here, 3 things here, but your obedience, you've got quite a lot. That's because what people don't realize, and the most important thing, I think, is the biggest factor in a well-trained security dog, I'm going to call it. Everybody thinks their sport dog is a protection dog, so we're going to call them security dogs. The biggest factor to creating a good dog that can save your butt on the streets is obedience, just what you've been working on. Because what a lot of people fail to think about is if it's a personal protection dog, it's going to protect your person. It cannot protect your person if it's in a crate in your car, because you can't let it out because it's too dang wild to be out in public. So that's why we have 2/3 of everything in pro sports is obedience. You do not have a personal protection dog if you can't take it to the Girl Scout meeting and turn it loose with all of the girls.
Yep.
Period. The second factor that people don't realize is dogs are a great deterrent. They're a better deterrent than possibly anything else. Even if you're walking down, if you got an AK-47 in your hands, that's a pretty good deterrent. But if you're walking down the street with a 45 strapped to your hip, that's not quite as good a deterrent as the AK-47 or as good a deterrent as the dog.
Yep.
Because the dog is a definite statement. So if you're gonna be going out in public with this dog, it needs to be obedient. And if it's obedient, you look like a team when you're on the street. And when people see you walking down the street with your dog, and when you stop, your dog stops. If kids go by screaming and hollering and your dog just watches them and then watches you, people are impressed. Nobody attacks anyone with a well-trained dog.
Yep.
So that's the biggest factor in pro sports. Really good question. Shoot me another.
And I have to say, I'm training my dog all the time to bite, but I hope she never has to, and I hope that just having her by my side is enough
Right.
to keep me safe. But we better be ready if it has to happen someday.
Wait a minute, I got to make a comment about that. So Jeff's from France, and I believe when he says, I'm training my dog to bite, but I hope he never does. If you're from the States, especially if you're from Texas, I hear everybody say that. Well, I'm training my dog to protect me, and I hope he never has to. That's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. You want your dog to bite somebody. Come on, let's
keep it real.
Thank you, Stanley. Let's keep it real. So that's what we train for. What we're training for is the opportunity to sick our dog on some idiot who wants to attack us. But we just want to make sure that when they do, our dog takes the upper hand. See?
Yeah, right.
So there's the other part of pro sports. I don't know how long we've been at this. You wanna, huh? 8 minutes. Okay. Well, let's one more question.
One more question.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any police canine handler who participated in the pro sport? I think it'd be very interesting to see how their dogs who walk every day on the street perform compared to other dogs.
Great question. Another good one. Okay. Yeah, when the first pro sports trial we did in the States after the first one in Mexico, when we started, we had police participation at almost every trial in some form or another. The first trial we did in El Paso, Texas, at the Civic Center, the big winners were the Union Pacific Railroad Police. They got some really, really good canine handlers, because let's face it, Warren Buffett and the railroad, they got way more money than most of the cities, so they get good equipment, they get really good dogs, and they pay really good pay to their handlers. So yeah, we've had Albuquerque, Sheriff's Department, I can't even think of all the ones we've had over the years, and most of them do quite well. We've also had some highly trained Schutzen dogs that do really well. but on the flip side, we've had some pro sports dogs, especially my favorite fellow, Thomas Raven. His champions that he's championed in pro sports have gone on to take like second place in the Malinois World Championships and Mondial Ring. So we've had a lot of pro sports dogs that competed at a high level go on to the sport world and do very well as well. But yeah, we've had a lot of police dogs participation, and we hope to keep having police departments. So
Very nice.
we're gonna go train Jeff's dog for a little while right now. And
So, do you have any pro sports trials coming up?
oh, matter of fact, we got trial coming up. When is it? You remember what the dates are, Jeff?
The 28th of March, I believe.
Yep.
And
End of April as well.
And who's gonna be here in April?
I'll try to be here if I'm ready.
All right. That'll be our championship. We look forward to seeing Jeff going against the Danes and Denmark, and I don't know what other countries we're going to have, but we'll have a couple of countries competing. So you get a chance, mark your calendar for the end of April. Come down and watch the championships, and we'll see you on the next little rodeo.
yes, sir. I like it. Cut and print, beautiful guys. Dynamite.
Thank you very much.